Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom, thank you for joining me. Today's episode is about what happens when a narcissist meets another narcissist. Is it even possible? Can these relationships work? Well, first of all, let's just back up a bit. Relationships? Yeah. Let's call them what they are. Situationships. Okay? Can a situationship between two narcissists work? Well, as a general rule, darlings, I would say that no, narcissists do not necessarily seek out narcissists, but there is a couple of things that can and do occur. One is that sometimes, in this kind of idealization phase, the narcissist gets so high, right? Like they literally are getting high as kites on all the kind of chemicals, hormones, all that stuff that's brought on during the love bombing stage. So they're actually doing it to themselves because, they love having a brand shiny new toy to play with. And so they lose kind of their good judgment, essentially. And so, because of that, sometimes they can find themselves falling for not a narcissist, but what is referred to as an inverted narcissist. And this is the other term that is used for inverted is the codependent narcissist. Now, I need to be clear because people think that the inverted narcissist is the same as the introverted narcissist or covert narcissist. That is not correct. The inverted narcissist is a different species kind of altogether. And how to describe the inverted narcissist would be this. So, hang on. Sorry, back up. I've done another video about this previously, but I noticed that some viewers were a little bit confused because of the language that I was using. So I was talking about the narcissist and then the inverted narcissist. But when I was saying the narcissist, people were thinking that I was talking about the inverted narcissist. So to make sure that doesn't happen, when I'm talking about the narcissist, I'm talking about the classic narcissist. When I'm talking about the new supply, in this particular instance, that is who I'm referring to as the inverted narcissist, or the other way around, sorry, the inverted narcissist is who I'm referring to as the new supply. Because most people who ask this question are former supply looking at their ex-narcissist with the new supply and are wondering if it's possible that she may also be a narcissist. And the way that presents is if you imagine what it's like when, so the narcissist is bullying you and then the new supply jumps in as well and starts making comments, harassing you. Some women, get literally physically assaulted by the new supply. That is what an inverted narcissist looks like. It's exactly what they look like. And essentially what the situation with the inverted narcissist is all about is that the inverted narcissist has no sense of self. They kind of have such low sense of self-worth, self-esteem and self-value that they have to pair up with narcissists, these kind of grandiose, overt, sometimes the coverts as well, but it's these kind of, these particular types that, they have this big ego, this falseness, this braveness, this boldness about themselves. And for someone who has no self-worth, having a partner like that makes them feel like they matter. It makes them feel like they exist and that they are of some kind of importance. Whereas without the narcissist, they just feel like no one notices them, they don't matter, and they have no value. Just one sec, darlings, I've just got some notes. All right. So, during the idealization phase, like I said, the inverted and the classic narcissist, they're just mirroring each other, So she likes something, he likes it. He likes something, she likes it. You know, so neither of them are very authentic with each other. And yet, at the same time, it actually doesn't matter to either the narcissist or the inverted narcissist. The relationship is going to be this kind of toxic symbiosis where this unhealthy relationship where they compete with each other, they lie to each other, they don't trust each other. Both of them have got one foot in the back door the whole time. They're both talking to their exes. They're both sneaking around and being dishonest. But at the same time, as long as they're both sleeping in the same bed at night, they are, for all intents and purposes, in a, well, what they would like to imagine we think is a relationship. But, as I said, it's not a healthy thing at all, what's going on here. It's kind of just built on lies. It's actually quite fascinating. I've got to tell you, it's actually really fascinating because I think this is the exact situation that my ex and the new supply are in. Like I said, the inverted narcissist, you know, they don't have a sense of self. So they need a partner like a narcissist. They need someone who has such a self-assured kind of attitude. They need that. They're vulnerable as individuals. You know, they don't, like I said, have a sense of self or a sense of self-worth. All right. Yeah, so the inverted narcissist, they actually rely on the narcissist for not only supply, but for a sense of identity. Like, they don't know who they are when they're not with the narcissist, which is kind of perfect for the narcissist, because obviously if the inverted narcissist ever tried to leave, you know, they don't know who they are when they're not with the narcissist. You know, when they're not the narcissist's girlfriend or wife or partner. They don't know who they are. They don't have a sense of self. So they rely so heavily on the narcissist. And the thing is, because of that, they will put up with much more abuse than, you know, us kind of healthy individuals, much more abuse than we ever would, and for longer. And as here we go, I've got a quote from Sam V about this, Sam Vaknin. So he says that the inverted narcissist actually can't have healthy relationships, that they crave to be in a relationship with a narcissist, not the narcissist. The joke of the whole thing is that, you know, if another narcissist came strolling along tomorrow, the inverted narcissist could leave the first narcissist and go with the second one like that. No loyalty, you know. But, hey, the narcissist doesn't care, because for today, you know, she is where he wants her, or vice versa. So they don't do healthy relationships. The inverted narcissists, you know, they love the push and pull. They love the drama, you know, they love the fighting and the making up. They love all that stuff because it makes them feel like they're important to someone. And it doesn't bother them that the narcissist is just telling them what they want to hear. It doesn't bother them that the narcissist's love is just an act. It's a false act. So the inverted narcissist lies to themselves just as much as the classic narcissist lies to them. And the thing is, though, they're okay with it. You know, they don't mind lying to themselves as long as he's there, as long as it looks like they are in a relationship, as long as it looks as though, you know, they are committed, then that's okay. You know, he doesn't actually have to be committed. He doesn't actually have to care or know that person. So in my particular situation, I see two people. It's been really fascinating to see two people who are quite obviously so incompatible, and yet because they are both, like I said, they lie to themselves and they lie to each other, they've both got a foot out the back door and they both know it, but neither of them care, because for now, you know, they're committed to each other. And it'll be fascinating to see how long that all plays out. I have theories about that, but that's another video in itself. So the inverted narcissist, like I said, they live through the narcissist, their relationship with the narcissist, and feel totally unworthy and outcast within normal society, which is why they are so heavily dependent on being in a relationship with a narcissist. Because you've got to remember, the narcissist tells the inverted narcissist everything they want to hear. So in this particular situation, so the inverted narcissist is young, dumb, never travelled, never been anywhere, never done anything, never had a job. It's just not an interesting person. But the narcissist knows that that is all of her weaknesses. So he says to her, oh no, baby, you're so smart. You're like, you don't need books. You're not that like book smart, but you are so smart, right? You know, or you're fascinating. Like the things that you say are fascinating, even when you've said it 10 times over. You know, so he tells her what she wants to hear. She's happy to lie to herself because at the end of the day, they're both, you know, just taking the path of least resistance. They're getting what they want and need, which is this illusion. You know, they're both relying on this false construct. They're both pretending what they have is real. They both know it's not going to last. They both know that, you know, the timer is ticking over. They both can pretend that what is real isn't real. So they can both turn a blind eye to all kinds of things. You know, it's quite fascinating actually, just quickly. With the narcissist, when you lie to a narcissist, right, it's fascinating how this works. And I say this only because in my last kind of year when I was with the ex, I was on my way out. I was heading out. I had a plan in place. I was living it out. And I had to do a whole lot of kind of disingenuous and dishonest things. Like I had to lie about certain things. And, you know, it wasn't an easy position to be in at all for me, but I had to do it. I had no choice. My safety was at risk. I had to keep playing along with the game, essentially. And it was fascinating to me to realise that, quite literally, I could hate his guts, not want him to be anywhere near me, but as long as I pretended that I was okay with it, as long as, you know, I went to bed with him, even hating his guts, even seething, you know, lying there, fuming, not touching him, over on my side of the bed, as long as I was in that bed, as long as I wasn't anywhere else, he was okay with it. So what it showed me is the narcissist and the false construct, you know, that's, it's a real thing to them. Like they really don't care what is going on in reality, as long as it fits into this version of self that they've created, into this illusion and this construct that they have created for themselves and others. So as long as I was there, it didn't matter if I was happy or not, you know, but as long as I was there, that is all that mattered to the narcissist. So with the situation with the inverted narcissist and the narcissist being in a relationship, they have the same kind of agenda. Neither of them care about the truth. Neither of them know how to have relationships. Neither of them know how to be genuinely close or intimate with another individual. They don't know about loyalty. They don't know about, you know, anything. Like they know how to fake all of those things. They know how to create the illusion of all of those things. But at the end of the day, the inverted narcissist is just like the narcissist, that they will always put their own needs first. And so what I mean by that is if the narcissist stops giving the inverted narcissist what they want and need, that is when the inverted narcissist will find another narcissist to have a relationship with. And what's fascinating once again about that is going back to my personal circumstances. The woman that my ex is now with, her previous partner was also a narcissist. So she literally went from one to another, and I'm sure that pattern will continue. So it's, you know, it's, like I said, it's not, when you look at this situationship, you know, you just got to remember that it's not real. Like, it's really not real. It's just two people using each other, lying to each other, and both of them being okay with it. Because, like I said, they lie to themselves just as much as they lie to each other. And in my books, that is so toxic. It's so unhealthy, and I can't imagine it's going to end well. I really can't. But anyhow, darlings, yes, so that's the general gist of, can a narcissist be with another narcissist? Across the board, the answer is probably no, unless it's the inverted narcissist or the codependent narcissist is the other term for that. All right, lovelies, thank you for watching, and staying up for your darlings. Bye.